second violin Gaelic Castle practice video. So you're hearing the metronome at 176 beats per minute. Okay, it's one of the most challenging parts of the song, especially because the violin too and the viola have melody. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Most challenging part is going to be those half notes. We want to make sure we don't use too much of our bow. Something else about this piece is the melody and the intonation of the melody. So this part gets a lot of the melody. We want to make sure those notes are in tune. So for example, I'm going to look over at the part you have at 27, and I'll kind of work my way back into some of the other spots. So 27, I'm going to play slowly so you can play along with me. So we really want to make sure that that fourth finger E is being used. So find the E. First of all, we were practicing this in class, but you're going to find that button on the back and then tap your fingers on top. Notice we've got a straight elbow. Now, when I bring that hand back, okay, that sets me up to have tabletop fingers. And there's my fourth finger E. The other thing is my thumb is relaxed and underneath. It's not poking around like this. This will put me out of tune. This will put me in tune. Violins can actually tune this note with their open E. So you're going to want to play fourth finger E. First of all, you can see if it rings. You can hear my E string ringing. And you can also check with the open E to see if they match. All right, so that part again, let's go to 29 and we're going to work our way from, we're going to go B, D. Notice I'm bringing these fingers up, and then fourth finger E. Back to C sharp, first finger B. So just practice doing those few notes over and over to make sure they're in tune. And then you can put it back into the passage starting at 27 slowly. So again, I want you to notice how I didn't just leave my hand down and squeeze. I released some of the tension and found that fourth finger. All right, so that one, the only other thing for melody that you guys get later on, it's the same little melody that keeps coming back. That goes like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So make sure, again, you don't go too far on the half note. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that repeats a lot. The other thing is dynamics. So this song, you're either really loud or really soft. We have a few times mezzo forte, but most of the time you're doing that contrast. All right, so if you look over at, for example, I'm going to start at measure, tell you what, just measure 3 where you come in. Okay, so. Lift. Not to slow down. What you have to do is jump to the lane right here, so right below your fingerboard, and that's going to be a softer place to play. The next time you get something like that, look over at 23, it's accented. So again, to make our accents, you're going to want to press the stick into the hair. And remember, that's where you hold the potential energy, wiggle your string, and then you make a kinetic sound. Okay, we make a nice loud accent. So obviously that's happening a lot faster when we play it. If you slow my bow down, you can see it pressing in. Okay, so we want to have that heavy accented sound. Anytime we see the accents, for example, at 23, and if we jump down to 39, now, we have to keep this piece moving. We want to make sure that we don't slow down. So anytime you have these repeated quarter notes, like at 43, find 43. Notice I'm using just that middle section of my bow right there. If I use any more bow, then I might be in danger of slowing down. The other place you don't want to slow down is when you have piano. Check out 51. For pianos, we want to just go towards the fingerboard, but we don't want to slow our rhythm down or our tempo down. Notice I'm just playing very lightly. Then I can move into the forte lane. Right here, I'm going to echo. I'm going to be very quiet. Just don't slow down. So we want to make sure we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, lift. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So again, adding those accents. The only other spot that I see as a challenge, and so notice we've kind of jumped around, but we want to find spots that are similar, and we want to jump to the spots that are going to challenge us the most first. The next spot that I see that's going to be challenging is 19. First of all, we have divisi pizzicato. If you sit on this side of the stand, you are going to play the top note. You're the outside player. If you sit on this side of the stand, right here, you're going to be the bottom note. So make sure you're dividing correctly. All right, so here's how we transition to pizzicato. First of all, we're holding our bow like this. Your fingers are going to wrap around the frog, and then you're going to be left right here with what I call pincher fingers. All right, your thumb's going to anchor right there on the edge of the fingerboard, and your finger's going to come and be ready to pluck. We do have accented pizzicato. We want to make sure we pluck on beats 2 and beat 4, so we're going to think 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's where it's a good idea to have your metronome going while you practice that. All right, so let's practice switching now. So I'm going to go from 18 to 19 slowly. Switch. So I had plenty of time, and I might almost be early to that first beat at 19 if I'm not counting. Okay, this happens again over at measure 35, so let's try 34 into 35. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So notice again, counting there so we make sure we're on the beat. Okay, I really recommend practicing some of this slowly. Remember we talked about starting our metronome at 136 beats per minute and then increasing by 4 until we get closer into that 176 beats per minute. So work slowly and carefully on this and let me know if you have any questions.